Okay. Okay, so let's start the webinar. Okay, welcome everyone. Good afternoon. Let me introduce myself. I'm Li Wonshang from KLESF, University Tunku Abdul Rahman, Utah. Today, we are presenting a webinar titled Immersive Technology for the Science. The speaker will also share the development of mixed reality injection simulation device. Also, this webinar will expose the audience with the current and future development of immersive technology and its potential in the fields of medical science. Thank you for taking time out and being here today. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the chat box. We will bring them up during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. And kindly remember to sign in. I will be posting the link in a short while. Okay, so let's welcome today's speaker. We have our moderator, Dr. Aloysius Yap. He is currently a chairperson of the Center of Immersive Technology, Immersive Technology and Creativity, CITC Utah. Then we also have speaker Tan Xuanqing, Hoi Yile, Liu Yanzhe. They are currently undergraduate student of University Tunku Abdul Rahman, Utah. So now, without further delay, I will pass the session to Dr. Aloysius. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Yeah, thanks Miss Lee and also the organizer. Yeah, I'm Aloysius Yap. Let me share my screen so that I can walk you guys through. Okay. Can see the screen there? Yeah. Okay. I'm Aloysius Yap. Okay, assistant professor from Faculty of Creative Industry, CITC. Like what that's how Miss Lee tried to introduce me. And that's my this is about something about me. Hold on. Okay, this is our center. You need anything, you can just use the QR code to scan. Okay, without furthermore, I will try to introduce that this is our center is related to immersive technology, mostly for AR, VR, and also creative content development. And our center encompasses toward the direction heritage and culture preservation by new media, as especially like immersive technology. Okay, so this is the immersive technology we're talking about. VR, AR, and MR, everything together we call extended reality. Okay, this is some of the event and also activity we are trying to do in our center. If you're interested, you can contact us. Okay, so we are mostly talking about metaverse. Yeah, so we also try to develop the content and also the environment. Okay, this is our center. It's in Sungai Long campus. Okay, in this building. Okay, so this is some of the project we are trying to engage with. VR walkthrough, in Long House, like VR walkthrough for virtual tourism, and also for panoramic, and also for virtual education, AR for education, AR for medical sciences, potential collaboration for virtual lab, virtual clinic, and virtual operating theater. Okay, so we come to our today topic, immersive technology for medical sciences. So what this is all about is just how we MC already introduced me, and also like the speakers like from Tan Xuanqing, Hoi Yile, and also like Liu Yanzhe. They actually are under the supervision of this advisor, Dr. Hao Li Chuan. Later on, he will come the one who will try to introduce them to you all. Yeah. So I just would like to let you know how this project come into the scene. Okay, this is a cross-disciplinary project from the Center for Immersive Technology and Creativity, which is CITC. Okay, under the FCI faculty, and with this Recon-Chen Faculty of Engineering and Science. So this is the first time we try to collaborate, combining our design and also like immersive technology with their expertise from mechatronic, EE, and also from software engineering. So after all the webinars what we have before under CITC, then we come across that there's a potential student come to us, especially by Mr. Tan Xuanqing. Then we try to generate a URS. This is an undergrad research scheme to help them to go through this so that we can collaborate. This is the system we are going through. If you want to know more, you can contact us. Then we know how to lead you towards this. Okay, so this is some of the meeting we went through from 2021 to 2022. So today, I would like to invite Dr. Hao to introduce all the speakers and the background. Yeah, Dr. Hao, back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Aloysius. Can you all hear me? So thank you very much, everyone, for attending the webinar today. Just once again, a warm welcome to all who joined on Zoom as well as on Facebook. So I'm actually Dr. Hao. I'll be giving a brief introduction to the team today before they deliver the webinar. So the team actually consists of 5 members, and they are Tan Xuan Ching, Paul Yiller, Liu Yanzi, and together with them, there's another 2 more students working in this project. Their name is Teo Jia-Jing and also Chua Kai-Wen. 4 of the members are actually from the Mechatronic Engineering program, and one of them is from the Electrical and Electronic Engineering program. So the core members, Xuan Ching, Yiller, and Yanzi, they will be delivering or sharing the webinar later. But before I pass the time to them, please allow me to give a brief introduction about their work. So as you can see from the poster shared on Facebook, their title is actually on the development of a vein detection device using the mixed reality to visualize the vein pattern in real time. The motive or the reason why this project started was because 2 years ago or 3 years ago, when the pandemic hit, a lot of us didn't prepare, and it was caught off guard. And many of the medical personnel, especially those in the nursing, they also suddenly be bombarded by a lot of patients, especially during the time where they need to do this vaccine injection. So I believe at the beginning of that stages, a lot of them, because of not prepared, there was some preparation needed in order to do that fast injection. So because of that reason, this project come about. Xuan Ching and his team, they talked about maybe we can come up with a mixed reality or a virtual reality system together with the supervision by Dr. Aloysius to come up with a program where the user or especially the medical personnel can use to practice. So the device actually aimed to assist medical practitioner in identifying the veins located on the patient forearm during more mainly for the new injection practice. So later, Xuan Ching and his team, they will deliver more in terms of how all this come about, and then eventually where have they arrived now. And I will pass the time to Xuan Ching after this. So just again, thank you very much. Like what Dr. Aloysius said, good luck to Xuan Ching and team. I will pass the time to Xuan Ching now for him to introduce everyone about his project, and as well as for the other team member to share this webinar. Thank you, everyone. Passing to you, Xuan Ching.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hao. So let me share the slides first. A very good afternoon, everyone. So I'm the leader and also the first speaker of today. We'll be Xuan Ching. So we'll be talking about the topic of immersive technology for application in medical science. So without further ado, let's introduce about the agenda for today. So we'll be mainly separate in 4 sessions. The first one will be the motivation of starting this project. The next, I'll be introducing what are the market solutions that you can find in online. And the next one will be the literature review, which is what is the past research of the researcher that had been done about our topic. And lastly, I will introduce you guys about our approach about this problem. So let's talk about the first one, the motivation of this project. Before we start, move into the topic, let me ask you a question. Did you experience failed insertion of needle injection before? So think about when you are suffering from an illness, but yet the practitioner failed to insert the needle into your blood vessels in one try. It must be a bad experience, especially for those who are scared of needles. According to the data from the US, there are 50% of failure rate in performing venipuncture. Not only the patients are injured, but the clinician as well. This will cost an additional of $4.7 billion are spent due to difficult of accessing the veins. And according to one of the research, there's only 21% of practitioners felt confident when performing the peripheral venipuncture. So for your information, venipuncture is just a fancy term, technical terms about insertion of needles into our skin, under our skin. So the confidence level just falls even lower to 9% during an emergency. But there are many multiple reasons of failure to insert the needle into our blood vessel. For example, our skin color, fat tissue layer, and also the thickness of hair. So every person has different types of blood vessels, which cause the blood drawing process becomes very challenging. However, there are only 43.8% of medical practitioners practicing the venipuncture process during their postgraduate studies. And more than half of students are lacking venipuncture skills when they finish their postgrad studies. When the patient's blood vessel is not that visible to be seen, the experience of the practitioner will become very essential to determine the location of the patient's blood vessel. So the next one, COVID-19, probably the word that we heard the most in the past 2 years. The pandemic just changed everything, included the medical industry. And we can see from the news that the demand of medical services inclined significantly. The Black Swan just brought a new crisis to the healthcare industry, which is the rise in the turnover rate. So according to the government statistics, Malaysia has a 4% of turnover rate in 2020, while the global healthcare industry has recorded a total 20% of turnover rate. So when those physicians with experienced skills in venipuncture are left, training is needed for the new medical practitioners to fill up the supply gap. However, the venipuncture is a service that requires some period of practice and experience to master the skills. So when these new practitioners are not prepared for the service, those from other specialties are also forced to perform the tasks that they are not normally practiced. This also increases the workload of these medical staff and cause them to burn out. So this is a negative chain happening in the medical industry. So here comes the question: is there any training device that is low cost and provides a wide range of training targets? Is there any method that can increase the success rate and also probably the penetration depth of venipuncture as well? Before answering this question, let's take a look what are the solutions that are available in the market. So I will pass it the next session to Ela.
Okay, thank you, Shenqing. First of all, very good afternoon to all. My name is Poi, and now I will briefly talk about the current market solutions out there in finding veins and improve the injection process. So, Shenqing, next slide, please. So as mentioned by Shenqing just now, veins are sometimes difficult to be located on some people, such as people with dark skin or people with high level of BMI. So definitely this makes injection process much difficult and inefficient. So currently there are a lot of solutions out there to make the injection process much easier, quicker, and efficient. So today I will only briefly talk about 3 companies that focus on developing the technology of finding veins. So all these 3 technologies sells the product so-called veins finders, as you can see here. So this veins finder is basically a product that helps us to locate the veins. And currently the main technology used in this kind of vein finders are near infrared light technology and also transillumination technology. Next slide, please. Okay, so the first company goes by the name of SIFSoft, which is a company located in the US. So by browsing through their website, we found that they do sell a lot of medical devices, but mostly the veins finders. From what we know, the latest product vein finders that they sell goes by the name of FDA portable veins finder, SIFWIN version 7.2. And this rangefinder is using NIR technology or near infrared light. As you can see in this slide, their rangefinder is quite expensive, which costs around 4,000 USD. That is equivalent to around 17,800 ringgits. So, however, with this high price, the penetration that I would say is quite deep, which is around 10 millimeters. Next slide, please. For the second companies, the companies that we investigated is a company called Suzepco, which is basically a healthcare and beauty supplier located in China. So this company, unlike the previous one, they are not just selling rangefinder, but also other kind of medical devices, such as laser therapy devices. They are, however, we're only interested in their rangefinders, and their latest rangefinder is called the infrared range viewer finders, which which same as the previous company, their rangefinder is also using the NIR technology. However, these rangefinders can penetrate deeper into the skin, which is around 12 mm depth. But for some reason, these rangefinders cost cheaper than the previous one, which is only around 2,700 USD. That is equivalent to around 11,000. Next slide, please. Okay, so for the third company that we investigated is a company called VansLead, which is also a company located in US. However, unlike the previous two companies, the rangefinder they use are implement different technology. Instead of using NIR, they are using technology called transilluminations. So as you can see here, the latest technology, the latest rangefinder they sell is called the VansLead LED Plus. I believe why they choose transilluminations technology is based on a few advantages. Firstly, this kind of rangefinders that implement transilluminations technology can assess vent in real life, in real time, and has higher accuracy compared to those using NIR technologies. Besides that, it costs cheaper than those using NIR technologies. In this case, you can see it only costs around 550 USD. That is equivalent to around 2,400 ringgits. The main disadvantage of this kind of rangefinders, however, is that it has low penetration depth. In this case, only up to 6 millimeters depth. Next slide, please. Okay, so in summary, these are the few available solutions out there that has been done by other companies to help the injection process. For these three companies, you can see that the rangefinders that they sell have the similarity, which is all of them are expensive, that cost above 1,000 ringgits. So from this graph, you can see that SIFSoft and Suzepco rangefinders, which implement NIR, have deep penetration depth, but also the cost can be very high. On the other hand, VansLead, which implement transillumination technology, has much lower cost, but it also have lower penetration depth. Therefore, in our research, we are trying to come up with a solutions that has lower cost, but high penetration depth. Yeah, and this is all for the market solutions. Now I'd like to pass the time back to, I would like to pass the time to Yenze to share about our literature review.
Hi, my name is Yenze, and before I start, a brief summary of what my friends have already said. Currently, we need a rangefinder to look into our, spotlight, okay, to look into our veins for patients to increase the accuracy of injection. But currently in the market, those available solutions are super expensive. So can we come up with another solution that still can look into vein, but maintain the price at a very low price range, so more people can afford it? This is a question. So currently, I'll be doing some literature review. Can you please, next slide? Okay, thank you. So before we start, I want to explain the main technology that we want to use in our project. How is this NIR working? You probably heard this NIR word in the previous presenter, because this is the main light source, the main technology used by other market solutions for their products. But why do they use NIR light? What is NIR light? So NIR light is basically near infrared light. You probably know infrared light. Our human eyes cannot see it. So near infrared light is also part of infrared light, but it's nearer to the visible light spectrum. So actually our light still cannot see it because it has to be within the visible light spectrum for our eyes to see. So basically this is what near infrared light is. But why do we use it? Why all these market solutions implement near infrared light? So basically, from this slide, you can see 750 to 940 nanometer. This is the wavelength of near infrared light. And why do all these market solutions choose this light? Because it has a very special characteristic, property. It can be absorbed by the hemoglobin within our veins. So hemoglobin is actually red blood cell. Red blood cells are in layman terms. So red blood cells is very abundant in our veins. So when these veins, it can absorb all this near infrared light. So what we have to do is just to shine the near infrared light on the patient's arm, and then the veins will absorb all this near infrared light. So the reflected lights are all the muscles, all the tissue except the veins. So we only need a camera, IR camera, to look into the veins, and we find all these dark spots. You can see on the diagram at the right side, all these dark spots. Why are they dark? Because they reflect, they cannot reflect any NIR light. These veins, they absorb all the NIR lights already. So when we get the reflection of this NIR light, we can actually see where are the veins. So this is the basic principle, how this NIR work and how it can implement it in our project. So here is how it helps us to look into veins. Okay, so next. Okay, so you might ask, is it possible to do it? I'm just a student. I'm just a college student. We don't have any money. We don't have any good backup things to do this work. Is it possible for us to do? But here is a research paper done by previous project researchers. They have actually done it. They use all these solutions, all these things are available online. We can just buy it on Shopee and anywhere around us. And the software is actually really basic, and it's actually really easy to implement. And if you are interested, you can take a screenshot and you look into it. So basically the hardware is just IR source. It's just some filter to filter out other wavelengths other than IR. It's basically just a firm filter. So we can just find it on Kodak shop. And Raspberry Pi processing unit, I believe you can use other processing unit also, even laptop computers, and LCD for projection of the for the result. You can see where are the veins. It's using LCD instead of just shining it on the arm like the diagram just now. So basically, it's implementable. It can be done by us even if we are just Utah students. So next. And okay, so right now, to capture the reflection of the NIR light, there are a few ways. Firstly, you can do this first method, reflection. You just shine the NIR light. By the way, NIR light is not visible to our eyes. So basically, when you shine it, you cannot see it, but you have already shine it on your hand. And then when you shine it on the hand, you capture the reflection from the same spot. So maybe your camera is here, and then your LED light is also at the same spot. So you shine it on your hand, then you capture a reflection on the same spot. So this is reflection method, but it's less accuracy. And next one is penetration. Because so basically you put sorry, you cannot see my hand. So basically you put a LED, infrared LED on this spot, and then you take the camera on the other spot. So the LED have to, the NIR light from the LED actually have to pass through your hand and through the muscle all the way back to the goes through your hand and goes to the camera on the other side. So actually the accuracy using this method is actually better. Next slide. So there are pros and cons for these two methods. Basically, for the first method, reflection, you can actually have better accuracy, and you can actually have easier way to implement it. You can have a smaller prototype then because you can snap everything in the same place. The camera and LED can be at the same spot. So but the disadvantage is the accuracy and the image is quite blurry. So on the image, you can see over here, the lighter image, the A image is actually resulted from the reflection method. But the second one, the B image actually has better resolution. You can actually see better, but it is using the penetration method. Penetration means you have to use a LED light here, and then it penetrates, goes through your hand and goes to the camera on the other side. This means when we want to develop our prototype, we have to use more bigger prototype because it has two ends. You cannot put it in the same place. So the prototype is not so nice. It's harder for user to implement it. So these are the pros and cons for these two methods, penetration and reflection. Next. Thank you. So you might ask, is it working? Our problem is to reduce the fault rate during injection, but can this method works? From the research done by these two researchers, he researched on the similar methods, wind recognition techniques, which is similar to what we are doing right now. He found that actually by using wind recognition technique, it can decrease the fault rate from the first one, 13% to 2%. Using this NIR vascular imaging system, which is similar to what we are doing right now. And the second one, he do the research on two different skin types. One is pale skin and another one is color skin. On both skin types, it has a success rate increase by using our solution. So actually our solution is working when we want to reduce the fault rate for this injection. Next. Okay. Yeah, next presenter.
Sure. Thank you very much, Yenze. So just now, Yenze just presented about the hardware which we are using, the NIR, LED probably, and also the camera to capture the waves pattern. So here comes the problem. If we are using the infrared camera to capture the veins, it actually consists of a lot of noise. So, and also the amateur backgrounds, etc. Therefore, we require some computing techniques to enhance the captured images and extract the object that we are actually interested, which is the wings. In our research, we are more interested in the methods of extracting the forearm wings pattern. There are 5 different parts of the hands, which is shown in the slides, that can be found in the past research, which are fingers, palm, dorsal, wrist, and also forearm. The first 4 parts are mostly used for biometrics verification applications, while the forearm wings are used in forensic science and also medical purposes. Oh, sorry. So to extract the wings pattern from the raw image, the conventional way is by applying machine vision techniques, which are easier and simpler to implement. Here we present a well-known technique proposed by the 3 authors from Hitachi Center Research Lab, which are repeated line tracking and maximum curvature. In this research, the recorded results using these 2 methods have expected error rates of 0.145% and 0.0009%, which is quite low. The lower of the EER means the better the performance. However, the techniques used are still mixed with a lot of noise, especially the boundary of the fingers are identified as wings. As you can see in the, especially in the image D, you can see the boundary of the fingers is also labeled as a wings. So this doesn't affect much for biometrics application, but it may cause a distraction in our application, which is for medical purposes. False identified wings would cause the physicians from making wrong decisions. In recent years, researchers used AI-related techniques to enhance wing extraction results. For instance, deep learning algorithm is good at processing images. The practical application, allow me to just briefly talk about what is deep learning. The practical applications that you can see in our real life, for example, the facial recognition in our smartphone, vision system in autonomous vehicles, virtual assistants like Siri, etc. So a pair of researchers from Turkey used deep learning to perform dorsal hand vein extraction. So the dorsal is the back of our hand. The deep learning network achieved nearly 98%. You can see in the graph, the orange color bar is 98% of accuracy, which outperformed the other six machine vision techniques to achieve they can achieve a higher accuracy result. The process of however, the training of deep learning network is probably require a large number of data sets to achieve a higher accuracy results. The process of, if you are a researcher, the process of collecting data is very intensive and requires a lot of efforts, and also we need to comply some of the code of ethics. So the best way that we can do is to look for the publicly available NIR weighing data sets to ease out our workload. So from the table shown, you can see that we just listed 3 data sets obtained from online that have and these they have the same characteristics, which is the highest number of images in the respective parts, which are the fingers, palmar and dorsal, and also forearm. Although FVUSM, which is from the fingers, and 11K hands from palmar and dorsal, consists of large number of data sets. There are only like but there are only like 1,000 plus of 100 plus of subjects participated in data acquisition. So for finger data sets, each subject can contribute at least 10 images from the 10 fingers. So the most common way for the researcher to increase the size of the data set is to increase the number of sessions capturing the data from the same subject. In other words, duplicated parts can be found in the same data sets, but the orientation is of the fingers and dorsal hand may look different for every session. And besides that, for NTU inner forearm data set, here consists of the highest number of subjects, which is 351, which can diversify the training data sets. While training the deep learning model, more diversified data sets can be learned by the model, which can avoid overfitting. So I'll pass it back to you, Eva. Oh, sorry, I'll pass it back to you, Yenze.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Next slide, please. So I'll be explaining our approach to do it. So it's not easy to do this project because first we have to compete with this market available solution. There are big companies. We have to make a prototype that is possible to compete with them. So we actually have to divide these steps into few steps. Currently we have divided. Sorry, what?
Sorry, the introduction part is from my side. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the approach of our solution about this project. So we would like to propose our approach about injection simulation system, which is the main topic of this presentation. In this project, we separate it into 2 phases. In phase 1, we will focus on creating an augmented reality frame pattern projection device. It's quite long, but I will explain it later. In phase 2, we will construct a mixed reality injection simulation training device. So augmented reality and mixed reality, you probably just heard about these 2 terms. So allow me to explain what are AR and MR. In short, augmented reality and mixed reality. In augmented reality, computer-generated contents is overlaid on the physical world. It can be graphics, video, or audio, etc. However, the users cannot interact with the virtual info as they would be in the physical world. There's where mixed reality comes in. The virtual environment is embedded with the physical environment, where the computer-generated content will react to you as it would be in the physical world. It's the definition of AR and MR. Probably you will not so understand about just now my definition. So allow me to give you an example. Imagine you wear a smart glass to play a game. The opponent's virtual character stands in front of you. In augmented reality, we can only use the weapon generated by the computer and attack the character. While in mixed reality, you can actually simply grab a water bottle beside you and attack the virtual character. So you can see the collision of water bottle and the virtual character happen in the same space. This couldn't be achieved in AR, but in MR, you can see how is the interaction between the virtual content and physical physical object. So in short, mixed reality consists of a valuable element that augmented reality lacks of, which is the interaction between the virtual environment and the physical environment. So back to you, Jens.
Okay, so like Xuanqing said just now, we have divided our project into a few phases. So the first one would be, the first one will be phase one. So the objective of phase one will be developing a prototype that can clearly project targeted wing shapes on patients' arms, like you see in this slide, the photos in this slide. So basically, we can illustrate the image of the wings, and then we use some illustration on this wing. So the patient, the practitioner, the doctors, nurses, they can just look on this arm, and then they can just plug the injection in without looking at another screen. But this is actually quite difficult to do, because this is actually market available solution. We are just trying to do the same thing. But of course, after this phase, we are doing something more extra on top of this. So this is actually the first phase we want to do. But like I said just now, we need to divide this first phase in two. So the first one would be first 1A. Next slide. Okay, so the first 1A is actually the difference between first 1A with the complete first one phase is actually we still uses a screen to let the practitioner, the doctors, to look into the screen to see how the wing looks like, instead of just shining the illustration on this arm. So on this screen, it will have these shapes of the wings. So the practitioner can actually use this screen to look on the arm and see where are the needle and whether the needle is located at the same correct spot on the wing or not. So for next slide, please. So how to do it? It's actually very easy. It's the easiest phase of all. So the first one, we need an NIR light source, like I said just now. This light source will be shined on this patient arm, and then the reflected NIR light will be sent to the NIR receiver, which is usually a camera. And then this camera will go through a light filter, and then this data will go into processing unit, and it will be shown on a digital screen. Not much technical things involved. It's actually very easy to implement. Next. And the special thing about our first 1A, phase 1A prototype is the price. The price is actually much lower than the market available one. Like you see just now from other companies that have actually already been selling this vein recognizer. So they actually sell for like 2,000, at least 2,000 price point, at least 2,000. So it can go up to like 6,000 USD or even higher. So we want to achieve this lower price point, and we are actually very confident that we can use a price within 1,000K, and we are actually using Raspberry Pi. We still can achieve this price. And if in the future, if we are able to like make it a market solution, and then we can find some cheaper chips and all those ingredients, and then we can achieve an even lower price point. So for the depth wise, depth is actually very important in this project, but we cannot achieve, currently we still cannot achieve a very deep depth. So we put our target on 6 millimeter, which is the lowest depth that is achievable by the market solution. So but this can go deeper, because this depth, actually there are many currently there are many available research based on this depth, how to go in deeper, how to get a better accuracy. So by learning these available researchers, I believe in the future our depth can achieve deeper depth. So for the visualization method, we are using near infrared light, like I said just now. Image streaming, we still use this digital screen to stream the image and let the patients, let the doctor and practitioners see on a different screen. Next. So on first, when we have already gotten the image, the next step, which is phase 1B, we want to project this image instead of on a screen. We want to project it on the arm, so the practitioner can directly see through. He can see what it's like on the arm. just like you can see through the wind, can see through the wind, but it actually didn't see through. It is projection, like this wristband over here. This wristband is there's a light on this wristband, light source. So this light source project what we will be doing will be, we want to project the shape of the veins on this hand. But there are a few problems we need to solve before we proceed to this stage next. So the first problem would be the availability of projection methods, because when we want to project this thing on this arm, projector currently they are very big size. It's really hard to find small projector like the slide before. There's a projector that can fit into the wristband. It's really hard to find for us. So whether we can find this projection that is good enough for our project is really difficult to find. And the second one, sorry. So for second one, we need to make sure that this projector, is affordable. Because like I said just now, we want to make our price low so that we can fit into this market. But like I said just now, we need a very good projector. So the affordability of projection method is actually a big point that we have to solve. And the third one is actually localization and scaling of vein image. Because you see, this vein, this camera, it doesn't really know where the vein is. It can collect the image, but it doesn't know where to spotlight the vein at. So to pinpoint the correct point on this arm is actually a big problem for us to solve. We want to pinpoint where this vein is supposed to be located at. So these are the three challenges we have to do on the phase 1B, but I believe we can do it. Yeah, so next.
Okay, thank you, Enzo. As mentioned just now, our research is separated into two phases. So just now what Enzo talked about is on building an AR device which focusing on real injections. So in second phase, instead of focusing on real injections using AR, we will be focusing on building mixed reality software for medical practice purposes. So the main purpose of building this software is we want the medical practitioners to practice injections process before they're actually trying on real arms. So as mentioned, as shown in the figures below, the basic idea is that we want to use some different veins patterns, images that is stored in the database, and we want to project it onto a prosthetic arms. So when the camera detects the arm, the veins 2D images will be straight away overlaid onto the targeted surfaces. However, since we are trying to build a mixed reality software where we can interact with virtual objects, if you can see clearly at the bottom right figure below, after the veins is projected onto the arm, whenever the syringe is captured by the cameras, a virtual syringe will be projected onto the physical syringe. And what we expect is that we can somehow interact with the virtual syringe using the physical syringe. For example, whenever the real syringe moves, the virtual syringe will also follow it until the physical syringe move out of the camera's capturing area. So, capturing range. Next slide, please. Okay, now I would like to play a short videos that demonstrate the veins injections using mixed reality technology, which is done by a company called Intronics. And this is basically what we are expected to achieve in phase 2. Or I would say this is our ultimate goal in our research. Okay, so in the video you may notice a few things. First, whenever the physical syringe moves, the virtual syringe object will follow it, which is what we want to do in our research. And at the same time, you may also notice that there are also overlaying 2D veins images and spring images onto the arm. However, there are some disadvantages of using 2D images. So one of the main disadvantages is that the depth of the veins could not be observed using 2D images. And the position of the arm should always be static when projecting the images, or else the projection will not be accurate anymore, meaning that we are not able to either move or rotate our arms during the projections. Therefore, to overcome these issues, next slide, please. Yeah, so to overcome these issues in futures, we are also considering overlaying 3D model onto the arms, just like the one shown in the figure below. Yeah, so with 3D models, we will be able to observe the depth much more easier, the depth of the vein much more easier since we can rotate the arm. So in the figure at the right-hand side of this slide shows the example of 3D models that we actually did previously using Blender, which consists of a few 3D veins and also bone anatomies. So in future, we will try to overlay it onto a prosthetic arm. And by overlaying the veins pattern with 3D models, we expect that whenever we rotate the arm, the 3D model will also rotate together with the arm. So with this, we will be able to view the veins pattern from different angles. And basically, this is what we are trying to do in phase 2. Yeah, I think I will pass the time back to Xuanqing.
Thank you very much, Yula and Genza, for the excellent presentation of what we are going to do in phase 1 and phase 2. So they had presented a lot of ideas and also and show you guys a lot of images of what we are going to develop in the next phase. So to sum up our presentation, we have 3 takeaways from this webinar that I hope you guys can take. First, we are going to use an NIR, near-infrared approach to visualize the veins pattern. Next, we choose to present the veins pattern using the augmented reality in our first prototype. And lastly, we plan to enhance the training experience of the medical practitioners by using MR interaction device, which you can see in the video just now. This restores the real situation as much as possible and also strengthens the user experience. With that, I would like to end up my presentation for today. And thank you very much for your listening. This is the QR code in the slides is our Facebook page. Do follow us and follow up with our progress. So back to you, Dr. Lucius.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Xuanqing. Thanks, Xuanqing, Wheeler, and also Yanzi. Yeah, thanks for the very interesting, insightful sharing. I hope that one, especially the audience, can take back some of the ideas what our team tried to do, especially by Xuanqing and also advised by Dr. Hao. So I would like to open up for the session now. For those people who got any question, you can just drop it in our maybe in the chat, or you guys can just turn on your mic to throw the question directly to them. So okay, now the session for Q&A. Go ahead. Xuanqing also can read through the Okay, from Dr. Roy. Okay, amazing research. Although things were so technical, they were so well explained. Thank you so much, and all the best for your future undertaking. Okay, thanks, Dr. Roy. Okay, any side effect of NIR from Jeffrey Perret? Yeah, okay, who want to pick up this question? Xuanqing, how about you?
Yenza, would it be better for you to explain? Since you just explained about the theory of
okay,
NIR.
Someone take over. Okay.
I don't think so, because like you see from the market solution, right? One of them is not using NIR. One of them is trans illumination. Then one is actually using very high power light. It's normal light only. It's normal visible light. And then you use high power light to look into the vein, and then you see how the vein looks like. So this one I think might have a bad, like worse effect than NIR because it's high power light. NIR is not high power because you only have to use a very low power to look into a vein, because like the the theory I said just now, right? You only have to let the veins absorb this NIR, and you see where the veins doesn't absorb the NIR, then those places are actually your muscles. Those places are not your veins. So, and also currently I've done a lot of research on NIR. I'm not sure whether there's, currently I haven't seen any research about the side effects of NIR. Currently, I'm not aware of that, but I think currently there are many implementations of NIR using this NIR to do this vein recognition technique. Is very widely used for a very long time already. So currently, I think this is not a concern side effect. So I hope that answer your question.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Just to
So
add
I hope
on
the sound
to-
the presenter is already answered the question. Okay, Xuanqing, go ahead.
Just a small add out because NIR is actually widely used in biomedical purposes, such as the tissue blood monitoring. So there are a lot of research are using NIR to against some of the problem that happen in the medical industry. So it is non-invasive compared to others like MRI that you can probably there is a you will heard about there's some side effects after performing MRI, but for near-infrared, it's actually not that harmful. In currently, there's like Jens said, there's no research about using NIR that will cause some side effects. So that's all. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Xuanqing. Okay, another question from Aaron Lim. Okay, question sounds would the cost of this technology be able to provide for those who can't afford current market NIR machine? Yeah, I think who's the one to pick up the question? Anyone?
Can I answer? Yeah. So
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so currently our target, by the way, the price point currently on the market is actually minimum like around 2,000 ringgit. So what we have to do is we want to lower down to 1,000. Currently, we are still using Raspberry Pi, and Raspberry Pi is actually not meant for this kind of selling one, because it's just for research. So if we don't use Raspberry Pi in the future, maybe we use some ASIC or we use some cheaper chips like that. When we manufacture it, we have decided to manufacture it a lot when we decided, okay, so currently we're not doing it yet. So the price will go even lower. So I think it can go like around 500. I think it's possible. So, by the way, our target buyers are actually those hospital users like practitioners and then nurse and doctors, all those. So the cost will actually be borne by hospitals. And also for this hospital, they actually have quite a lot of budget, I think. So they can probably afford this machines. It's not actually a machine, it's actually a small device. So probably they can use the money that's saved from this machine for other things else. So they actually can afford it. And another thing is like for other places that can't afford it, like some countryside, like rural area, maybe they have some hospital, but they are not so well budgeted. So they can probably like afford it using because our price is like actually below 1,000. So compared to all those market available solutions like 2,000, 3,000, we actually have a very big discount already. So probably they can afford this.
Yeah, just a small add up for your information that the part that Ela just mentioned, what is the market solution out there? He presented 3 companies that provided veins viewer. Those 3 companies are actually from is outside from Malaysia. And if you are searching Google search you perform Google search like veins viewer, all you can find is you cannot find any veins viewer devices in Malaysia, in Shopee, etc. Within like over 1,000 ringgit. So probably if you are going to buy vein viewer devices, but a normal person wouldn't buy that, probably would be the hospital, the big companies would try to buy this. They would need to contact with the to other countries to ask them can they sell them. But actually, even though our Malaysian hospital or company willing to buy that, they also need to bear another cost like the maintenance, and these are cost very much because all the maintenance, all the technical person are outside from Malaysia. So, and this is why we're trying to come out our low cost solution, but also the veins extraction, the veins augmented will be as good as you can see that you can find in the market. Yeah, so I think this answers your question.
Yeah, thank you, Zhenqing. So Yenze. Yeah, because at the same time also I'm looking at the live screening here. Actually, it's a streaming on top of YouTube. We also have people watching from this side. That's why I'm looking at is there any feedback from them. But I don't think they can do the check there. Yeah. So I'm still here. Another Aaron Lim. Okay. Yeah, I said thank you. I look forward to seeing this being implemented in the future. Yeah, for sure. For me, I'll be with them for almost like 2 years something. I believe they can have something. Yeah. So yeah, before we can get any question again, I would like to ask the team here. So our next move, I hope, do you think that we can go for copyright or something? Zhenqing, yeah.
Yeah, for copyright, I think this our prototype is most probably would be suitable for applying for patent because our approach is like for information, Dr. Lashes is from creative industry, so he had a lot of application which is regarding the VR content. So probably copyright is suitable for that. But for engineering devices such as the software, our source code, our brains extraction algorithm, and also probably the hardware devices, these are more onto the patent part. But according to our current situation, we are trying to focus on the way to produce something that is unique, but also suits the one that the local market actually needs. So what they are lack of, we are trying to come up some kind of solution that suits them, trying to fit their problem and come up the very unique solution for them. So I think this is not a problem. So we hope that we actually very hope that we could come up something that is can be patented during our degree studies, and this would be fantastic. And maybe for us, for 5 of us during our studies in Utah. Yeah.
Thank you, Zhenqing. Yeah, for sure, surely, like from our Center for Immersive Technology and Creativity, what we always try to do is we look into the IP for everyone, whoever they involved in the project, like what we used to help and also assisted the members and also the student to get the IP for the game project last time. Yeah. So for this project also, because since I'm also the one who will be with you guys, for sure, I'll try to assist to get your IP for your team. Yeah, because if there's hardware, we'll go for patent. Yeah. If there's a content nicely, like there's a novelty and originality, then we'll go for copyright. So we will look into it in future. Yeah. So I think that's it. Yeah, it's almost on time. Yeah, almost 4 now. 1 more minute to 4. When I check on YouTube, they also got people watching. So thanks for the people who try to join us for this particular day. It's a very wonderful day, and then good sharing from the team. Well done, and thank you. So I cannot see any question thought out in our chat here. So I think that's it from our side. Okay, anything Zhenqing or Dr. Hao or Ila or Yenze you guys want to add on? Before we pass it back to the MC.
Yeah, just for your guys'
ahead.
information, I
Yeah.
just posted the link of our page in the comment box, so you guys can just follow our page. It's newly created. Actually, it's created today. So I hope we can post some of the content in the Facebook if you would like to follow up our project. Thank you.
Okay, in our chat box from Chai Kim, from Ms. Lin Chai Kim. Okay, thank you for sharing about your research, detailed and well prepared. Hope to see your product in the market in the near future. So yeah, for sure, I will work very closely with the team so that we can make this happen. Because we also want to have a good learning experience for all the students in Utah, so that we hope our center can reach our help to gain more for you guys. Yeah. So I think that's it. Okay, Sanjay. So for the participant, please answer. There's a link from our chat box from the organizer. So okay, I think for our side we're done. Sanjay, okay, everything okay? Okay. So I'll give back this session to Miss Lee to make a wrap from here. Miss Lee, UBS. Yeah, thank you, Miss Lee.
Thank you. Thank you for this insightful webinar. Once again, thank you to all our speakers. Okay, so just have a small request. I would like to request everyone to turn on your camera if possible. I would like to take a good photo with you all. And then while waiting for you guys to get ready for camera, just a reminder, kindly sign up and fill up the feedback form. Okay, so Dr. Ashes, I think you need to stop sharing screen first.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay, Miss Lee.
Yeah, okay. So in case you can't turn on your camera, maybe you can give us a thumbs up at the reaction there. Okay, yeah, I saw the thumbs up from Chai Kim, Thor, Dan, and Jeffrey. Okay, so we will take a few shots. Okay, so we take one first. Okay, get ready. 1, 2, 3. Okay, hold on now, one more. Okay, you can do some freestyle also. Okay, the screenshot is okay. Okay, so thank you. I will take this opportunity to promote next Saturday, 10 a.m. Next Saturday is 27 August, 10 a.m. We have a webinar, Fun Learning Through Creative Science Drama. We will be using Zoom for the webinar and also stream to Facebook Live at the same time. So this webinar, we'll be teaching some skill and explain about more for the creative science drama competition. So if you are available, hope you can join us also. Okay, and if you want to know more about KLESF webinar, you can check our Facebook. Okay, and I also posted just now the Facebook page for the Immersive Mag, that one I have posted at the Facebook page comment there. You guys can check out if you miss out the link. Okay, so once again, thank you everyone for your time. And that's all for today.
Thanks everyone. Yeah. Thank Miss Lee. Yeah. Thank KLESF. Thank you. So see you guys. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doctor. Yeah. Thank you, MC.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Hao. Dr. Hao, thank you. Yeah. See you guys.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.